Y'all know what time it is! How I made... Alright, so with I Don't Care Anymore Die, I was originally inspired by this Eliminate video. Eliminate is he's an electronic producer who I really love. I really love his music. Now he's even more known for his YouTube content. So I seen a YouTube video of his where he made a song out of this sample.
Visit Crankin' Wagon!
As soon as I heard that, I knew that I could make something hard with it. So I decided I really wanted to try my own beat with it. So I started with a sample. Here's what it sounded like. I just kind of chopped it up a bit to make it a little more rhythmic and, I don't know, just do something interesting. Right, so I had that, laid that down, and I decided I wanted to do like a little counter melody. So I just layered that with that banjo sound. That's just like a stock banjo from Logic. And then once I had those melodies down, I layered down the drums, put in the kick, snare, percussive claps. Now it's basically the foundation that I laid down. And then I wanted to do an 808, and for the 808 well, it sounded like this. Alright, and so the 808, as you can hear, kind of drifts out of tune a bit at the end, and I had that idea because the original sample of the siren is a little bit out of tune itself, so I decided detuning the 808 would be kind of cool too. So I don't know, I was kind of liking how that was sounding. I added in just a couple more percussive elements, and this is basically what it was sounding like. Admittedly, I think I was going a little overboard with the percussions and whatnot, but I don't know, it was kind of cool. I was messing with it, and then I just decided to build out the arrangement from there. Made a little verse section. Right, and then this section where the bass comes back in. And then I had this idea for this change-up section right here. And back into it. So yeah, during this whole time while I was building the arrangement, I was having an idea of what sort of sound I wanted on it. For the change-up section, I was imagining something sort of, I don't like to compare to an artist, but of course, something sort of corpsey, like, just something like with like a dark whisper or some shit like that, right? And for the rest of the sections, I was imagining, you know, like some sort of, like yell rap and stuff like that, some angry shit. Yeah, so I kind of had an idea of what I wanted, and now it was just kind of about finding the right artist for it. So NIKKO was one of the first people I thought of. I know him from his scream rap stuff, but he had recently dropped this solo project called Harvest, in which he was singing on every track, and everything was very melodic, and he was doing a lot of guitar stuff, and really like caught me off guard because I didn't even know that he was that he was into that sort of music and was capable of making stuff like that. I knew that he was extremely versatile. For everything that I wanted out of this track, that was kind of the sort of person I needed. I actually tried to reach out to him before to see if I could get the vocals for one of his songs called Flesh that he did with Anakin Skywalker, because back when that song came out, I was rocking with the heavy, and I wanted to make like a dark step EDM type remix to it or something, because I thought that'd be fun. And at the time he replied back and he said that he didn't have the vocals or something anymore, but I at least knew from that he responded to messages. So I decided to give it a shot and try to reach out to him again and see if maybe he was interested in this track. And luckily he really liked it. He got back to me with the recording and everything within just a couple of days. He had everything written out. He came up with the title, I Don't Care Anymore Die, and had all the lyrics and everything ready for me. I was super impressed, very pleasantly surprised, because he was just so passionate about it, and very clearly so passionate about what he does, and it just felt really great to work with somebody like that. So he sent me his raw vocals, which just means that they're completely untouched, which for me, that just means that that's really cool, because it allows me to mix them in a way that's maybe a little bit different than the way that he's used to hearing them. It gives me some creative liberties when I have some fun ideas for them and stuff, and I think that's really cool because it allows me to try something new and hopefully give this artist a sort of an experience that they haven't had with somebody else before, because I'm gonna do something different with their vocals than what they are used to doing themselves. And maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't. Yeah, but at least we can try and see, and see if other people like it. So back into the project, I had all these vocal stems to work with, right? Which is both awesome and at the same time kind of scary and tedious, right? Because there's just so much to go through. He gave me so many options, which is great and incredible. That's exactly what I asked for. The more options I have to work with, the more possibilities I have, and the more interesting choices I can make on the spot. So he gave me exactly what I asked for. I loved it, and everything that he said sounded great. It's just about, for me, it's just about making sure that they are happy with the end product, So there's some pressure there. It's something that I want to live up to, and it's just about making the right moves and making sure that he sounds great and that he's happy with the way that he sounds. So this is one of the earlier project files I have with it. There's some missing plugins and stuff, and it's not like stuff doesn't sound perfect yet, but I just opened it up so I could show you guys kind of what it looked like in my work in progress stages. So this is kind of the base of what I was working with. Already I had kind of gone in, cleaned up the vocals a little bit, but they still aren't fully processed yet, but you can hear what it sounds like.
You gon' play for the day, you ain't getting none. No play having, you see me better run. And you don't want smoke, pussy, I don't give a fuck. Cause if I'm being honest, nigga, I want you to die.
And so at this stage, you can still hear that it's on the old beat, right? I haven't made those changes yet. But so I had all the vocals. I wanted to focus on making the vocals sounding great first. So he already came with such raw energy, right?
You gon' play for the day, you ain't getting none. No play having, you see me better run. And you don't want smoke, pussy, I don't give a fuck. Cause if I'm being honest, nigga, I want you to die.
So I love that energy that he was coming with, and I just wanted to match that by making his vocals sound kind of distorted, you know what I mean? They're coming through a microphone, he's just yelling into a microphone on stage, and it's just blaring through the speakers, and I wanted that sort of feeling to come across so that people could, when they listen to it, they could feel like they're listening to him live, they could feel the energy of just him being on stage going crazy and everybody in the crowd going crazy. That's the sort of energy I wanted, and that's the sort of processing that I did on them. I really didn't do that much. I just added a little bit of saturation here and there, cleaned up the high end a bit, and that's basically...
One, you gon' pay for the day, you ain't getting none. No blood.
I mean, that's basically the result, and that's what you hear. What I did was I took some of the parts that I wanted to highlight a bit more and cut them out and put them on their own track. And what I did with these ones is I processed them a little more stereo, made sure that there wasn't any phase conflictions, with the main vocals. So these vocals, again, like this vocal layer was taken from this main vocal here. So it's the same take, but I just did some different processing on them to make them sound a bit different, make them sound a bit more stereo, make sure that there wasn't any phase cancellation, which is when, there can be some big problems if you have some phase cancellation there. But made sure that all that sounded good and that it sounded like a solid layer, like a double.
One, you gon' pay for the day, you ain't getting none. No Blade having, when you see me better run.
Then these whisper vocals that he did.
Unless you're ready to die right now, yeah.
And then he has them again over here at the switch up section.
Right one, pondering who I should take the life from, like some.
Oh.
Right one, pondering who I should take the life from, like some. Before I spin his blood like a dice, son.
Yeah, well, So yeah, he had all these whisper takes already down. These were all separate takes that he did, and I think they all sounded amazing, actually. Let's see.
Right one, pondering who I should take the life from, like some. Before I spin his blood like a dice, son. Pipe gun, you walk a lot, but you never bite none. Tight tongue, I'm a god, and you niggas my son.
Those were all separate takes that he did, and they all sounded great. I mean, all of those alone already sounded perfect. It was just about, for me, really just getting those in the right stereo space. You know what I mean? Setting them in the right space in the stereo field so that it sounds really wide and dynamic. Alright, so here again, I escalated he escalated his intensity again, right? So I wanted to, again, match that intensity by really upping the distortion and making it feel just more aggressive. So the thing is, with having all these different vocal takes to work with, it's just going through each one and deciding which ones are necessary, which ones aren't, and kind of just making the right decisions with those and making sure that everything all still sounds good together. So after I was satisfied with how all the vocals were coming together and how everything was eventually sounding, I just bounced everything out into a solid vocal track and decided to mix them back in with the track and mess around with the track some more. So you might notice that the final track sounds a lot different than the old track that I just showed you, right?
On that 888-111 forever, you already know what's going on. On, hey.
Motherfucker on the one, you gon' pay for the day, you ain't getting none. No Blade having, when you see me better run. And you don't want smoke, plus I don't give a fuck. Cause if I'm being honest, nigga, I want you to die right now. Let's take it out.
Alright, so as you can tell, there's a lot of different sounds in this now, right? So, I mean, I got the vocals all bounced out into one track after I was really happy with how they were sounding. Now it was a matter of the track itself and being happy with how that was sounding. And I just wasn't, after listening to the track over and over again, I was really not happy with how the main sample that I started with, the siren, was sounding, and the detuned 808s. Those things were just really getting annoying to me and getting on my nerves, and I just wasn't feeling them anymore. And the track itself, to me, in my opinion, was just, even though it had NIKKO on it now, and NIKKO sounded great, the song itself sounded really mid, in my opinion, and that's simply because the track, I just wasn't vibing with it anymore. I made a few different versions of the song, but I'm not going to show you them because they're complete trash. But I think the biggest thing that I was struggling with was keeping that German siren sample in the song, because that was the whole purpose of the song, right? Like, that was the whole reason the beat came to be, was from that sample. So I kept trying to keep it in there, but in reality, my heart just wasn't feeling it anymore. I hated it, and so I eventually got rid of it. And once I removed that from the song, like, everything else started just flowing, everything else felt natural, and I realized, like, that was the key thing for me. So the siren, the thing that I really didn't like about it is it was kind of sitting in a similar register and was kind of clashing with NIKKO's vocals in a lot of places. So I decided to just completely remove that, and then everything else was sounding really good. Then the main melody that you heard were these banjos, right? Which you can hear I did a little more processing on to make them sound a little beefier and a little more fun. But yeah, so that was the main element that was left over, and that was already sounding better to me. So basically, after I removed the siren sample, the detuned 808s that I had in there before weren't really meshing with the rest of the track anymore. So I removed those and made completely new 808s, and this is what they sounded like. Right, so I just wanted to make something super crunchy like that. And so these ones are more in tune. They don't detune towards the tail or anything like that. And I thought that that was just sounding better with what I had in the new sort of refined and reformed track. Let me show you. Right, so this is what I had going on. And then I had this idea to add some fun percussion in the verse. And I threw in these tabla. I found this tabla sample as I was kind of searching through some perk loops, and kind of just chopped them up and threw them in here like this. This is what they sound like. And this is what it sounded like with the rest of the song. And that gave it this really fun groove, you know? It changed the whole vibe of the song and made it more of this, like, like, get rowdy, sort of like, move your body sort of feel to it. And that already was feeling better to me. It gave the whole song a different feeling. It didn't feel so aggressive. It felt a little more, like, I don't know, just like fun, just, hype, energetic, scream and aggressive and in your face, but not to the point of like, not like, let's go kill your mom sort of aggressive, but more just like, let's get crazy, let's have fun, let's, fuck some shit up, but it ain't like some serial killer type shit, you know what I'm saying?
Skip class, making the baggage off of some notepads. Heard that you was a gangster before that click clack.
It still went hard, but it was more fun now. So once I had these perks down, so that's when the idea for the sitar came in, and I added in this melody. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I think that added a whole new layer and element to it that it didn't have before. I layered that with the banjo. I think it sounded really, really good. Right? So then I kind of just messed around with the arrangement some more, did some more fun adjustments here and there. This part when the bass comes back in, I just did some fun weird spacey processing with the melody. Now that everything is, now that I got the whole thing isolated, you can really hear that that white noise that I have in there. Oh, hold up, I can't even find out where I keep it though. Is this it? Yeah. All right. So now you can really hear that white noise that I have in there, which which when everything's playing with the vocals, you can't even really hear it, but it definitely adds to the intensity into the sound, I think.
You gon' pay for this day, you ain't getting none. No play having, when you see me better run. And you don't want smoke, plus I don't give a fuck. Cause if I'm being honest, nigga, I want you to die.
You hear it obviously when everything is layered on top of it, but that's kind of the whole point. It's just there to add a little more volume and just a little more, it adds some more graininess to the distortion that's there. So yeah, now that I had the whole thing sort of reformed and everything, I added in some fun sort of sounds for the intro.
Hey, yo, Tony, what are you? On that 888, 111 forever, you already know what's going on. On, hey,
motherfucker on the one.
Stuff like that. I just added in some more like transition sort of sounds, made everything sound a little more refined and cohesive. And yeah, so now that everything I thought was sounding better, it was really about showing NIKKO and seeing how he felt about it. NIKKO initially didn't like it, which really sucked, right? Because like, of course I want him to like it, but he's also really used to hearing himself a certain way, and he was like politely trying to tell me like, hey, I think I think the vocal mixing could use a bit of work or something like that. It was funny, but you know, I had to explain that like the distortion on his vocals and everything like that was an intentional decision, and you know, I just did what I thought was best, and you know, I was just like, hey, just sleep on it for a minute, and you know, maybe it'll grow on you, maybe it won't, but either way, just let me know and we'll work it out. Luckily, after giving it some time, he got back with me and he said that it kind of grew on him and that he started to really like it. And I was just really thankful that he felt that way. And crazily, he liked it so much that he offered to collab with him. And what that means basically is that we would be sharing each other's resources and working together, using each other's budgets and working together to really get it out there and to get y'all to hear it. Introducing my audience to his and introducing his audience to mine, and yeah, and so it's really cool. It's the first collaborative project I ever done with anybody, and I couldn't be happier that it was with somebody like NIKKO. And the response has been pretty positive from what I can tell. Seems like y'all really like it, and for that we are both really thankful. As always, thank you guys so much for just really supporting it and listening to it. All the videos that y'all make, I love watching that shit. Please keep making videos like that. You know how I feel about the anime and the AMVs and stuff like that. You know, for this song, I could see other things too, like Invincible or Vikings. So, I mean, if any of y'all want to make one of those edits, that'd be really cool too. I'm just saying, thank you guys so much for showing us so much love and support. Oh, I forgot to mention the artist and the artwork too. So after I had remade the beat into like the new version, I knew exactly what I wanted that to look like. So I came up with the artwork and the idea for it, and I hired an artist on Fiverr who I know could get the job done. I was really satisfied with how it turned out, and I hope y'all, I mean, it seemed like NIKKO really liked it too, and y'all really liked it too, so that makes me happy. So, you know, I still got a bunch of stuff I'm working on. You know, really just waiting for the feats as usual. Some of these feats I've been waiting on since Picnic Satellites, so it's really been a minute. The next couple of songs I got lined up I think are gonna be really, really special. So just like this one, so I hope that y'all are just gonna be excited for that. Alright, anyways, I think that's gonna be all for today. Let me know what you guys think about these sort of videos. I do them all the time and I want to know what you think. If there's something that I don't go over in these videos that you'd like me to, drop me a comment and let me know. And if there's some other type of video that you'd like to see from me or whatever, just let me know, because I'll definitely think about it at the very least. Anyways, thanks again, fam. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see y'all again soon. I forgot to mention that I might be selling some beats soon, so be on the lookout for that. If any of y'all are artists and you want a beat from me, hit me up, because I'm making exclusive beats, and I might be selling some on BeatStars. Who knows? To be determined, but we'll see. Take care, guys.